Hello, so today I'm going to tell y'all about the Great Leap Forward in communist China. So we're going to start at the beginning. So it goes on in communist China from 1958 to 1962. And at the time, Mao Zedong is at the head of China. That is this black and white portrait here on the right. So he has been very important ever since before China was communist, and he'll be important up until his death a little bit after the Great Leap Forward. But this is going to focus on improving China through the ideas of collectivization and communism, which we'll get to on the next slides. So he wants everyone to be really enthusiastic and excited about the process. He wants everyone working their hardest. So you're going to see people working on farms harder and for longer hours than they ever have before. And that concept of collectivization, you're going to see as people move into what they call people's communes. So that is a collective large farm area. So you're going to combine around 2,000 households, and they're all going to live together, sometimes in communal boarding schools that they have for people, and they all eat in communal mess halls as well. So we have a picture of one of the fields as well as a picture of this man cooking. And that's not historical, but at the time they did have the expression everyone eating out of one big pot. So it was the communist idea that no matter how much work you did, you would still get the same amount of food from the same big pot at the end of the day. So that is also a part of this system. So another large aspect is that they want to focus on industry. So rather than focus on economic planning, where you have cities with industry and then farm workers working on food and all, they're going to encourage everybody to have a part in industry. So they have things called backyard steel mills in these communes, where people with no knowledge and no experience really are going to be harvesting and melting steel. And because none of these people have any experience, a lot of the steel made during this time is actually unusable. Now, with the uranium mines, it's a similar concept. However, the uranium they mine is fine. It's just that it leads to a lot of pollution in the country. So if we're already talking about industry, we'll move on to farming. So like I said, he wants everyone to work hard, long hours, longer than is reasonable for a workday. And they have really high expectations. So he wants people to yield this much when in reality, they're probably not going to be able to. But they have to be enthusiastic, right? So a lot of people, the heads of villages and communes, they're going to exaggerate to meet these expectations. And then while the leaders say, well, the expectations are being met, which means we can raise them higher because people are meeting them. So this leads to a system where the government probably knows some of the problems, but because of these exaggerations, they're not exactly sure the true extent to how little farm work is actually being done during this time, which of course is going to lead to a lot of famine, starvation. So there's no focus on agriculture. They actually encourage a lot of backwards farming techniques like hoeing deep into the ground, which is really just clay, but there's this idea that there's good soil underneath. So because of this, there's a lot of people starving due to not enough food being created. So a lot of people die from starvation or they get sick as an effect of not having that food to support their immune system. So this is a large estimated number, big range, but there's an estimated between 18 and 45 million deaths during this time. So the response, criticism is not really allowed. A lot of people who do criticize Mao Zedong are fired or imprisoned. In the case of Peng Dehuai, not sure if I pronounced his name right, he gets fired from his position in the government because he criticizes the Great Leap Forward. But eventually, after Mao actually doubles down for a small period, but then things start going back to normal as more people begin to say, well, people are starving, we really need to privatize more land and focus on more agriculture. and really get things planned out. So that is the Great Leap Forward. Thank you for listening.